What's up, Bandai Modelers? This is Strider Prime, and today I am going to talk about Space Battleship Yamato. A couple of years ago, we were blessed with a new series from an old series that I grew up as a kid. It was called Space Battleship Yamato in Japan, but when it came here, it was called Star Blazers, and that pretty much kickstarted my whole modeling career in a way. But this is before Gundam, of course. And I'm a little excited now because a few days ago, last week actually, a little over last week, Bandai, they just announced the second season of Space Battleship Yamato. For a little bit of history here, we all know that there was a series called Space Battleship Yamato 2199, which was basically a retelling of the original Space Battleship Yamato that came out in 1979, I believe, or 77. The series, of course, lasted a good 26 episodes, and they even made a movie. Now, I knew for a fact that they were going to make a sequel series, because back in the 70s, going into the 80s, they had two other series. They had two other seasons, not to mention about 4 or 5 movies. One movie in particular that nobody wants to talk about. So, about a week ago, this came up on the internet. They are now making a series called Space Battleship Yamato 2202, Warriors of Love. Don't like that last one, but it's understandable. Clearly, it takes place 3 years after the events of the original series, where I guess the crew of the Yamato comes back with the device that cleanses the Earth, and I believe within makes sense that within 3 years Earth began to recover, and we may start seeing a blue Earth planet in the new season. And then they're probably going up against a new adversary, not the old adversary, because now they're in league with the Gamelis fleet. In the original animation series, the new enemy was called the Comet Empire, and we had a glimpse of them in the first season of Yamato when the Gamelis fleets was going up against some of their ships. As a matter of fact, I have a Mecha Collide model kit of one of the ships that I began building, and I painted this powdered blue type color on it. This is the one of the aircraft carriers, or the single deck aircraft carriers. There is a 1000 version of this kit, which came out last year when Bandai released the movie version of Space Battleship Yamato. It was a kind of like a side story type thing, and I saw it was really good and all that stuff, and never got the model kit. It looks very nice, especially with all those little crab fighters. But we're definitely going to end up seeing that and other ships as well. Other ships that I do have in the Mecha Collide collection, which I'm going to focus on. So obviously, we're going to be excited with new model kits from Bandai. They found the right niche of doing 1/1000 scale kits. At first I thought maybe they should have done 1/700 scale kits to be the same as naval ships, model naval ships that you see, when you go to a hobby show or a hobby store. The problem is the 1/700 scale ship is a little bit bigger. Compared to this Yamato, it will probably reach up to roughly here. Actually, let me do this. So we have the Yamato here. It would probably be reaching up to here. So it's a lot longer than this. I can understand they can get away with the Yamato, but with the other fleets of ships from the series, it'll be a lot bigger, and maybe they said, nah, maybe that's a little too much. 1/1000 seems like a great balance right there. So we're going to probably be seeing maybe a few new Gamelis ships, since they're going to be aligned with the Federation, with the Earth forces, and then we're going to probably see a lot of the Comet Empire ships and their fleets of ships. You know, we're probably going to probably see maybe 4 or 5 new ships in model kits. Probably going to be seeing 2 or 3 different new kits from the Gemelis line. Maybe new fighters, who knows. But the one thing, of course, that I'm more excited about is we're going to be seeing the Earth Federation fleets, because in second season of Yamato back in the day, there was a lot of you know, you could see that the Earth forces began developing new ships for their fleets. Not the little ones that that I haven't built yet. As a matter of fact, give me a second. Okay, so here is the ships from the Yamato series 2199, the Morasami, the Yukiza, and the Kirishima. The Kirishima is one of my favorite ships. You could see in their timeline, of course, their ships were advanced, but not as advanced as the Gemelis fleets. So these ships were smaller compared to Yamato. We're going to be seeing ships that are a lot bigger, a lot more refined, heavier armor, maybe a lot more weaponry. And the one ship that, as a matter of fact, let me move some of these ships here so you guys can see this. The one ship that many people are probably going to be excited of is probably an updated version. You know, it'd be nice if I prepared this next time, but I didn't. We'll probably see an updated version of this guy. This is the Andromeda. This was Earth's successor to the Yamato. Now, this is not to scale. This is actually a 1/7. I believe this is a 1/700th scale version of the Andromeda, which is still huge. And when it first came out, it was, wow, amazing. It was a pretty amazing ship. Even today, looks pretty good. Okay, a little cheapy with the wing here and 2 little intake tube type things here. These are not missiles, of course. Overall, you know, it had 4 cannons, of course. It had an amazing bridge, pretty good. I'm not digging these, of course, but then again, at the time, it was still cool. It's still cool, either. And who cannot forget the front part of this? Now, this was actually a battery-operated kit, because actually, when I purchased this was like, goddamn, 20 years ago. This has a battery pack, so it funnels the light here, and these 2 lights turn on. The batteries on this is long gone by now, so I could probably replace it at this very moment, but I'm not going to. So oh god, this thing broke. So we're going to be seeing yeah, this thing broke. We're going to be seeing updated versions of the Andromeda, updated versions of the Earth EDF battleship, the EDF destroyers, EDF cruisers, maybe an EDF carrier. We're going to be seeing EDF fighters, different types of fighters, of course. So we're going to be seeing, I think, a good maybe 10 plus model kits from the series. So it's going to be pretty exciting. The one thing that I'm a little bit worried about, and well, I'm not worried, but I have a feeling they're going to do this. Obviously, they're going to be a re-release of the Yamato. It's always been like that. If they're going to be a re-release of the Yamato, it's probably going to have maybe the new fighters. It's the only thing that's probably going to be different, because the Yamato is identical to the series. It's seen throughout the entire 3-season series back in the day, so it's going to have to be the same thing here, unless, of course, Bandai and the producers decided to remodify the Yamato. Remodify it in one way. Is it going to be a little bit more fatter? Is it going to be a little bit more longer? Will it have a different cannon setup? Different. It's kind of hard to say. You know, hard to redo the Yamato, because the Yamato is amazing in the way it is. And please don't release another 1/500 scale version, because I'm not going to get that. I can't even take that kit and put it on this table so you guys can enjoy it. It's too huge, too huge. Maybe, oh God, I can't believe I'm gonna say this. Maybe they'll make a 1/500 scale of the Andromeda. But as you can see how big the Andromeda is next to Yamato, yeah, it's a little too much. I have no room here. Sooner or later, I'm going to be putting away, or selling off some kits so I can make room for more kits. But regardless of the case, I don't want to see something like that huge. I mean, we definitely enjoyed 2199, and I would like to enjoy 2202. If they're going to make a big ship, okay, a little bit fatter, maybe a little bit longer, but not too long, not too crazily long. But that's just me. The one thing that I do know that they're going to probably end up making long and huge, and shut up with that's what she said, is in the end of the Comet Empire series. Obviously their base is basically on a comet-like asteroid with a city on top. But when the city got destroyed, another ship came out, and it was a huge dreadnought-like space fortress that was basically 10 times longer than the Yamato. Hell, it was even bigger than the Domal dreadnought, which Bandai made a 1/1000 scale version of that kit, which is basically around the same size as my 1/500 scale Yamato. So they may end up making maybe a smaller scale version, maybe a 1/2000 scale, just so it could be presentable on the table. Maybe it'll probably be around that same size that I just mentioned before, but that's probably, I think, the limit of what they're going to do. But it's still going to be an exciting year to see a new series of Space Battleship Yamato 2202, Warriors of Love. And of course here in the States, it'll be referred to as Star Blazers, which I can't wait until they start releasing the Blu-ray version of Space Battleship Yamato 2199, so I can purchase it, and hopefully they'll dub it properly and I can see it. I haven't heard no news yet, but for you Yamato fans, I guess you guys can't wait for that as well. So I will touch back on this later on when Bandai releases new information. There's a website called Cosmo DNA that does a Yamato report every 15th of the month. So hopefully by that time we will see something new, and then we'll discuss that later on. So I'd like to thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for more Bandai models yet to come. You guys all have a great day.